So we got Bernie here, good old Bernie. He had a video that went viral. I think he probably touched on something that everybody has been sensing. And says AI could wipe out the working class. Feel the burn. Yeah.
In the midst of these unprecedented and crazy times, government shutdown, Trump's devastation of healthcare in America, climate change, the move toward authoritarianism, the horrific war in Gaza, the growth of oligarchy, etc., etc., etc. I want to take a few minutes talking about another issue of enormous consequence that just doesn't get the kind of attention I think it deserves. Everybody agrees that artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics are going to have a transformative impact on our country and the world. There is very little disagreement about that. There are, however, very strong disagreements as to what those impacts will be, who will benefit from these changes, and who will be hurt. So here is my take. Some of the very wealthiest people in the world, including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and others, are now investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into these revolutionary, transformative technologies. Now, why is that? Why are they doing that? Is it because they want to improve the standard of living of the 60% of our people who live paycheck to paycheck, Americans who are struggling to pay for groceries, healthcare, housing, education? Maybe. Maybe they are staying up nights worrying about the working families of America, but I doubt it. I think it's because investing in AI and robotics will increase their already incredible wealth and power exponentially. Among other impacts, the artificial intelligence and robotics being developed by these multi-billionaires will allow corporate America to wipe out tens of millions of decent-paying jobs, cut labor costs, and boost profits. The result? The wealthiest people in the world will get even richer while working families lose their jobs and their income. And unless we act, here is, in my view, I don't claim to have all the answers, but in my view, this is what is likely to happen in the next 10 years. Now, as a member of Congress who vigorously opposed the disastrous trade agreements that decimated communities throughout this country, I, like most Americans, want to see manufacturing rebuilt in the United States of America. But let us be clear. New factories won't mean much for working people if the jobs are done by robots instead of human beings. Elon Musk has said he wants Tesla to build millions of robots. And what will these robots do? Well, obviously, they will replace the men and women working in our factories, warehouses, and in restaurants and in other areas. That means millions of good jobs could disappear. It's not very complicated. And of course, it's not just Musk. Amazon, owned by Jeff Bezos, has already laid off 27,000 workers since 2022.
He replaced, 25,000 of those with H-1Bs?
The company now has more than 1 million robots.
He didn't mention that part, did he?
Working in its warehouses. And soon, these robots will outnumber human workers in Amazon facilities. In 2016, Foxconn, the massive manufacturing contractor for companies like Apple and Google, replaced 60...
Robots. Fucking robots, bro. Robots. It's like that dude from that commercial. Diabetes. Oh, God, diabetes. Diabetes. Okay. You guys remember the diabetes. We got diabetes and robots. Robots. The fucking robots are coming for our gerbs. Fuck. You thought the Mexicans were bad? Wait until the robots get here. They'll be working for free. Fuck.
1,000 workers in a single huge factory in China with robots. Now, the company is planning fully automated factories.
Nuclear.
And just a few months ago, Foxconn CEO Young Liu predicted that artificial intelligence will make it unnecessary for large corporations to outsource jobs to low.
I got an excuse when I mispronounce shit. I speak different languages. How the fuck? Robots and nuclear, for fuck's sakes. Even I cringe when I mispronounce shit.
Wage countries. You know why? Because robots will be doing most of the manufacturing work. However, it is not just manufacturing jobs at risk. Most of us want to see the United States develop a strong, clean, and efficient transportation system.
What do you think clean and efficient is? Robots. That's robots. That's no Uber drivers. No more risk of getting into a car with a human that doesn't know how to fucking drive. Women will no longer get raped potentially. It's just robots. Robot like the Waze. Is it Waze? What are the ones in Arizona called? Is it Waze? I swear it's called Waze. Or is that the app? Waymo, excuse me. The Waymo robots. And then now they have robo-taxis from Tesla being rolled out. So Waymo and robo-taxi, it's already happening. And then logistics will be used strictly by AI. What do you think is going to happen? Think about this. You're going to have 18-wheelers, no more need for Indian drivers. You're just going to get 18-wheelers that drive nonstop, don't need sleep, got cameras all over them, are safe as fuck, and deliver on time every time. And it's going to cut costs dramatically. We're going there. And if we don't, China will just build them. And if China gets to build all these fucking robots, then China gets to sell them all over the world and get rich and outproduce us. And be far more efficient in production because they got robots and we got no fucking we're robotless. This is a Pandora's box. It's already open. You can't stop this shit.
Including the production of millions of new cars, buses, and trucks. But if Musk and others get their way, those vehicles won't be operated by truck drivers, bus drivers, or taxi drivers. They will be drivers.
Dude, I can't wait. Robots. When you pull up the drive-thru, the robots will get your order correct every fucking time, bro. When I say fries, my fries better fucking be in there. Okay? I'm sick of missing burgers. I'm sick of missing fries. I'm sick of you not taking the motherfucking pickles out when I specifically said no pickle. No more of that shit. A robot will be back there roboting his ass, making my perfect burger every time. Game over.
Vehicles. Millions of jobs in transportation will be eliminated.
That's inevitable. Get over it.
This is not science fiction. It's already happening.
So let me guess. What are the Democrats? I haven't even seen this. What is this? Are we going to demand for legislation? Are we going to legislate and turn it into a bureaucratic mess and try to slow them down? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to do the European method. We're going to hold these companies accountable while China just runs free with government-powered state investments and they end up building better models than us. Are we going to lose the AI race? Do you know the defense industry's got their fucking mittens all over this? You want China to have smart weapons, smarter than us? You want their hacking capabilities, their supercomputers? You want them to get to the singularity before us? Absolutely not, burn dog. The robots are coming, whether you like it or not. We have adversaries in this. It's not going to end.
FedEx is using driverless trucks to haul heavy loads along the I-45 corridor between Dallas and Houston through a company called Aurora. Walmart is using autonomous trucks for short-haul deliveries in Arkansas through a company called Gatik. Kodiak Robotics has partnered with...
Listen, I want my Amazon order in an hour. Bring that shit with the fucking drone. Drop that fucker in my backyard. Done. I don't want porch pirates anymore. Fuck that shit. Okay, automation is good in some ways, bad in others. Yes, we're going to have to retool the economy. Shit's going to get much harder. There will be no more fucking wagey cuck slave jobs in cubicles. Robots are going to do all that shit. The factory jobs are already on their deathbed. That's the longshoremen. We have fully automated fucking ports, guys. Not a single person is working. It's coming whether you like it or not.
With IKEA to conduct driverless deliveries in Texas, Waymo is operating self-driving cabs in Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Austin.
Robots.
We all want to see more startup companies and small businesses. But for workers, that will mean very little if half of all white-collar entry-level jobs are eliminated.
Listen, half of those jobs are fucking ass anyways. The robots could take them. We're sick of that fucking daycare for women. You know, most of these women that are on these white-collar jobs, it'll be mostly women affected. Like 80% of the white-collar jobs that are going will be women getting fired. So, yay, we're going to inadvertently boost the population by firing most women from work, and they can't compete with the jobs that are left that are dangerous that men still have to do because the robots aren't, don't possess the dexterity required just yet. Voila, population boom. We're going back to one worker per household. No more dual income households needed. Good. Bring that shit. Sick of all these fucking daycare jobs. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars answering emails, dicking around on Zoom, fucking not doing nothing in their little pods, eating their fucking whatever slop in their little cafes, making TikTok videos, a day in the life of me just in my fucking little daycare, not doing shit, adulting. Yeah, the robots are coming for your ass.
Over the next 5 years. And that is exactly what has been predicted by Dario Amodei, the founder of Anthropic, one of the leading AI companies in the world. As the ranking member of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions...
Someone said, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Your robot will be making you a sandwich. Superb, perfectly toasted, correctly applied. Ketchup, mayo, meat, tomatoes diced to perfection, not missing the lettuce, made with robotic love. Robot love. No more garbage sandwiches with zero love. I seen when I was working construction, I seen dudes roll up with the most hideous, disgusting, I hate your fucking guts sandwiches you could ever see. 2 pieces of whack bread with fucking processed ham. Slop meat. Disgusting. Call that shit food. Robots. Dude's putting in a 12-hour shift roofing and shit. He has got his meal in his lunchbox looks like worse than prison food. Talking about my wife made this for me. Motherfucker, you got some graham crackers, some fucking, what are those little fish? What are those little orange fish Cheez-Its? Those little fish Cheez-Its. You eat like a fucking slave, G. I would have divorced on the spot. When I saw that sandwich, I said divorce. Right now. In my head, it went divorce. You fucking pack me fish Cheez-Its, bitch. Are you out of your mind?
I just released a report finding that AI, automation, and robotics could replace nearly 100 million jobs in America over the next decade.
God damn. Oh, it's worse than I thought. 100 milli jobs, boys. Wow. Also, we just talked about civic nationalism. What happens if you eliminate 100 million jobs? Where do the immigrants go? Do they go back home? Do they go back to third world economies that do not use robots? So only first world nations that are, like service-based economies, are they dominated by robots? Interesting.
Including 40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers, 64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants, and 89% of fast food workers, among many other occupations. And as bad as that may seem, I'm afraid it could be an underestimate. In June, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, predicted that AI could eliminate, quote, literally half of all white-collar jobs in the U.S., end quote, within the next decade. That's Jim Farley, Ford. Elon Musk said this year that as a result of AI and robotics, quote, probably none of us will have a job. If you want a job, that's kind of like a hobby. You can do a job. But otherwise, AI and robotics will provide any goods and services you want, end of quote. Earlier this year, Bill Gates predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things, end quote, such as manufacturing products, delivering packages, or growing food over the next decade due to AI. So, my friends, here is a rather big question. If Musk...
Yeah, if all this shit, if it goes to shit, if everything gets replaced, I'm going back to masonry. I'll make a killing doing stucco, stonework, all that shit. I got real skills. My daddy taught me that shit. I'm good, dude. I'll be back working on rich people's houses, all the robot overlords. Yep, I'm going back to doing high-end stucco masonry. Yep, custom fucking framing, all that shit. I'm going back. We're using our hands, boys. Hey, the YouTube era is over. I'm getting replaced by some fucking bull maxer, VTuber. That's cool. That's fine with me. She ain't doing shit about stucco masonry. You better learn a trade, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Gates and others are only half right in their predictions. What happens to the tens of millions of Americans who no longer have employment because they can't find jobs that don't exist? In this brave new world, how do these Americans pay for health care, food, housing, and the other necessities of life? But it's not just economics. Work, whether being a janitor or a brain surgeon, is an integral part of being a human being. The vast majority of people want to be productive members of society and contribute to their communities. What happens when that vital aspect of human existence is removed?
If I can't get a job in masonry, I'm straight up bull maxing. I don't give a fuck. That's it. That's it. We're going to have to do OnlyFans bull maxing
From our lives. Further, and now we get into some pretty deep stuff, the rapid developments in AI will likely have a profoundly dehumanizing impact on all of us. In many ways, it will actually redefine what it means to be human,
Gooners.
fundamentally alter our relationships to each other, and the very nature of what we call society.
Gooner's going to goon it
Can
up.
AI and robotics be of help to us in many ways? Absolutely. I believe they can. I am not a Luddite. The goal, however, is to make sure that the new technologies being developed serve human needs and not just further enrich a small number of multi-billionaires.
Equity how?
We do not simply need a more efficient society.
Equity
We need
how,
a world
Bernie?
where people live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives.
Platitudes.
So,
Where do we go from here? Here we go. Here's the policy, bro. What is it? How are we fighting China on this?
where do we go from here? And again, I don't have all of the answers,
Okay,
but
great.
here are just a few ideas as to how, in my view, the advances in technology can benefit ordinary Americans and not just
Are we going to redistribute wealth? Is that what we're going to do?
multi-billionaires. First, we must move to a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay.
What the fuck? All right, bro. So we're trying to battle out robots that never rest by lowering the work week. Okay. Become less productive. So more incentive for corporations to get rid of you. Okay.
Think about it.
Think about
Today,
it.
American workers are 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s when the 40-hour work week was first established. Artificial intelligence and robotics will greatly increase that productivity. Workers must benefit from that increased output through a shorter work week. A 32-hour work week with no loss in pay would be a
What?
major step forward in improving the quality of life for millions of Americans.
What the fuck
Second.
are you talking about?
We must require large corporations to allow workers to elect at least 45% of the members of their boards of directors, similar to what already takes place in Germany. Workers need a seat at the table to best determine how AI is used in their companies.
So we put representatives in the boardroom that get corrupted with money and power and do nothing? Have you not heard of unions? Jesus.
If Tesla workers were on their corporate board, I doubt very much that they would be rewarding Elon Musk with $1 trillion pay package. Third, we must greatly increase profit sharing at our nation's largest corporations. In my view, workers should receive at least 20% of the stock in companies they work for. Corporate profits should
That one's
not
good.
just be going to enrich wealthy stockholders.
I'm good with that one. That's actually a decent policy. That if you work for a company, you should have some stake in all the profits too, not just the board. Yeah.
And the billionaires who own them. Fourth, we need to substantially expand the concept of employee ownership in America. When workers
Cops.
own their own businesses and are more involved in the decision-making processes, They will make choices that benefit everyone in the company, not just the people on top. Fifth, instead of providing billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax on large corporations and use that revenue to improve the lives of workers who have been harmed in this transition. Bottom line, AI and robotics will bring a profound transformation to our country. Nobody denies that. In my view, we must fight to make sure that these changes benefit all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. Let the debate begin, and we need your participation.
So a nothing burger. Okay. I deliver food for a living in LA. Today, there are already autonomous taxis pushing passenger drivers to deliver more food just to stay busy. There are delivery bots piloted by drivers in India and Colombia taking work away from me, while those companies work on automating their robots so people won't be needed at all. Compared to just a few years ago, I already noticed it's much harder to make the same money in the same day's work. He isn't kidding. The impact will be massive. And without guardrails in place, it will create more poverty. You're a little late, bro. We've been automating for the better part of 50 fucking years. The train is not stopping now. Imagine a nation like China. You think we have a problem with automation? Imagine the hundreds of millions of people in China that are going to lose their job because factories are now fully automated. That is the manufacturing capital of the world. Imagine when they undergo a robotic revolution. Will China be able to... Is that a civil war happening? Is the CCP going to lose complete control? What's going to happen then? When you have 200, 300 million unemployed Chinese angry and wanting some fucking answers. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.